So teams of individuals, students, parents, teachers, can all be in one room getting that same message and working together to unite to be a stronger community. And today, we believe the key components to doing this is number one, building an awareness. Number two, engaging in collaborative discussions. Number three, being inspired. Because that's what gets us fired up to continue to do our job. And number four, to be consistent. To be consistent. And that's what we're going to do today. By engaging in a program that's going to build an awareness about the issues, we're going to have a panel discussion that's going to allow you to collaborate and discuss these issues with the panel. You're going to be inspired by some of the stories. And in the end, we are going to work to outline a roadmap, a key, a blueprint to head in the direction to creating this safe, connected, and healthy school community.
It's kidding and it's joking and all that until it's not, and then all of a sudden it's serious. And so the joking and everything with your friends is fine, but it needs to stay light, and when it starts to get to a point where people are embarrassed or people are getting mad because of comments, that's the line right there.
When it becomes so uncomfortable that you don't want to be around certain people, when you don't want to go to school, when you don't want to do certain things, that is when bugging becomes important to me. Because it makes you uncomfortable, it makes you not want to do the same things, it makes you not you.
We hear these words thrown all the time, or people get excluded all the time. But not everybody deals with it in the same way. And so we have to take every incident very seriously.
If a student's getting bullied and you see it and nothing happens and the bell rings, you can go to your teacher and say, I need to go to the office, or there's plenty of adults walking around on a daily basis at any school, just to let them know what happened. This is what you saw, you want to let somebody know.
Because usually if something's happening, you're not the only two. There's other people observing. And so maybe that one person was courageous enough to come up and say, my friend is being teased, they're feeling bad, but they're afraid to come and tell you. Don't tell them I told you. And that's okay. We take care of it then. We have ways to do it. Okay, so please, sometimes I think the word snitching or tattling or whatever it may be is wrong. I tell the kids it's not that. It's a responsibility. It's your responsibility to have a safe campus and for your friends to be safe and for you to be safe. That's what we want. It's not snitching. So just take that word out. It's not snitching. It's not tattling. We used to do that when we were little. I'm going to tell mom on you. You're a snitch. Stuff like that. We're in high school or middle school now. We're adults. Because even later on as an adult, if you see something, it is our responsibility. If you see something at a store or what's going on, nobody wants to get involved. And I think that's what it's because we don't want to get in trouble. We don't want to be the bad people. But sometimes we have to be responsible and be, have the courage to say, this is wrong. I'm stepping up. Because I know morally and ethically, I know I wouldn't like that to happen to me or my family or my friends. Right? Okay.
Hold out your hand. You spread your fingers out, you got 5. And to me, these are 5 people I know I can go to. My wife, my producing partner, my mom, my dad, my sister. If I ever have a problem, these are 5 people I know I can always go to. And I say 5 because sometimes, maybe 2 of those people are not available, maybe 3. You still know you have 2 there. And the one thing I would encourage you students to do is figure out who your 5 are. Because not only are they going to help you deal with certain problems that you may have, but they're going to help you deal with the situations like what you just mentioned. Because if it's more than one person that takes a stand, then it's going to be a lot easier to deal with that challenge.
Time, help the victim. Sympathize with the victim, befriend the victim, report it to somebody else later. But sometimes it can be intimidating to confront the bully. But if you help the victim, that's another great way of you're actually sending a message to the bully, but you're helping that victim as well.
You think of, well, why didn't anyone contact me? I wish I would have known. I guarantee that mother, that other father would like to have known if that was going on. And so my biggest thing is try to communicate. It doesn't always have to come through us, always involve us. I would never not want to be involved, but don't be afraid to just pick up the phone and call that other parent, because I can guarantee that other kid, 9 times out of 10, is saying the same thing about your daughter. Well, she said this, or he said this, or she said this. Let's bring them together and let's get to the bottom of it, because half the time there's rumors.
Yeah. So I really encourage you to, when they come home and they may be defeated because of something happened at school, build them up at home.
WEB stands for Where Everyone Belongs, and we implemented this program for 2 reasons. One is to work on a transition between elementary school, 5th grade, and the 6th grade year, which can be a tough time. And each 6th grader is paired up with one of our 8th grade students, and they meet on a consistent, regular basis, and they talk about bullying. Or how are you doing throughout the day? Is someone picking on you? Do you have problems? Are you under a lot of pressure from any numerous different areas? And if they do, they are able to speak with those 8th grade students. And if they are not able to kind of help solve the problem or kind of work through it, then they let us know. And so we have quite a few students who are on a consistent basis finding out about other things that are going on campus, and then they bring them to our attention.
Encourage them to get involved. Encourage them to go and look and find a group that maybe they can join, or a club.
I would say that's probably one of all of our biggest goals, is that we want every student to feel welcome. We want every student to feel like this is their second home. You know, there's a lot of programs out there. There's a program called Invisible Kid, where if you see a kid who's sitting alone, go up to him and say, hey, what's going on? Talk to him. Don't pull him in. Let him feel included. You know, I use kind of examples, and one of my examples is we can't build the best school in the world, we can't build the best district in the world without having a firm foundation, thinking about building a house. And if we have cracks in our foundation, how are you ever going to put walls up, the best walls of academics, the best walls of athletics, if we're not including every single student? And so I think that's really important. Find activities, there's programs, and this is kind of where I was kind of looking at is, you know, there's so much we can do in regard to identifying what bullying is, but the whole idea is, how do we even just stop that and just treat others how we want to be treated? And talking about characteristics and having programs where we're including instead of excluding. You know, and I kind of use an example of my own life. I was burned over 70% of my body. My husband's in a wheelchair. He's paralyzed. And I look at, sometimes we go to a restaurant, and the first thing that our mothers tell us is, honey, don't stare. It's not nice to stare. Or when we go to a restaurant, maybe the person will look at me instead of my husband and say, how many for dinner? 2? And I don't know, how much, honey? You know, because they feel, we've always been taught it's not nice to stare. And I use the example as, it's okay, and it's even better to even talk to me, because what you just did is you included me. You didn't exclude me. You brought me into the conversation and made me feel that I was a part of the group. And so that's what I'm asking all of you students, is take that extra time, and if you do see someone sitting there, trust me, there's something that you will get to know and like about that person, so just take a second and say hello.
Thank you.